Yeah, it's rich in bunly goodness.
Do you remember when you lost your passion for this work?
I invited another friend. I hope that's okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And welcome to another edition of my after-school special interview series with YouTube creators out there in the fandom. So to start off with, let me bring up my co-host, Fat Steven Seagal. How are you doing?
Where am I? Who is this? Hi, Lorena.
Hi.
How are you? How are you today?
I'm doing good. You've done something a little different with your hair and your outfit.
Yeah, I found out what a comb is used for, other than using the normal fork that the Little Mermaid taught me for some reason.
She had a lot of cool who's its and what's its galore thingamabobs, dingle hoppers.
I also realized I'm not supposed to wear seashells like that outside in public because people start crying.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you live and you learn, right?
Or you live and you get mocked. It works both ways.
Well, it's so interesting that you have that Avatar mashup going on, because it reminds me of where I first met our guest for today. So speaking of Loki's Mornings of Mischief, which your avatar reminds me of, let's bring up our guest. This is actually where I met her. Hey, Eris of Chaos, how you doing?
Hello, this is totally the first time we're doing this.
Absolutely. It's so nice to hear your voice, because I'm used to seeing you in the chat in Loki's Mornings of Mischief.
Yeah. Well, whenever I get a chance, I like to pop in there. Although with how things have been going, work lately, picking up towards the end of the year, I haven't been able to do that quite as often as I would like, but I'm always lurking. I'm just in the shadows lurking,
Yeah, usually I'm working. It's like I'm putting in the chat. I'm like, I'm lurking and working. So I usually have it going on my TV while I'm working on my laptop for work.
Oh my God. And I if I start randomly giggling throughout the stream, it's because I'm looking at Fat Steven's avatar.
That's understandable. But what he'll do sometimes is he'll change his avatar, and I'll be going on for minutes or whatever, and then look like, okay, what's that?
Oh my God, what is this monstrosity? Oh dear.
Well, that's great. Thanks for destroying my self-esteem with 5 minutes in. You literally not even 5 minutes in.
I didn't say it was bad.
No, but you just said I was a monstrosity.
I said, what is this monstrosity? Come on.
Hey.
Come on. You don't have
satire and intimidation is the purest form of I forget the rest of that saying because I had a blonde moment of respect. I'm going to go with respect right now because I deserve my blooper now.
You know what? If I have Steven and a couple of other people, like on my Welcome to Florida streams, not only do I see shenanigans going on with the avatars, but they'll start putting stuff in the private chat.
Yeah, I have to be careful with that one.
And I'm like, okay, I can't look. And I'm like, crap, why did I freaking look? And it just all ensues from there.
Damn
it just all starts. I'm like, okay, I'm not looking over there anymore. Oh, so tell me so I guess the first question is, how did you wind up getting connected with Loki's Mornings of Mischief?
Well, that's an interesting story, isn't it? Shut up. I don't need your sass. Give me sass. I swear to God, do not make me come over there. Let's see. Well, it kind of started like about a year and a half to 2 years ago. You can blame Jodie Whittaker from the 13th Doctor and her horrible performance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say I am dang it, Steven. See, I shouldn't have looked.
I know, that's why I was laughing.
I'm not a Doctor Who fan. However,
Oh my
I'm
god.
aware of what Doctor Who is. I appreciate it for where Doctor Who sits in the sci-fi pantheon, I like to say.
Yeah, in the garbage heap.
I went to what?
Oh, sorry. Whittaker belongs in the garbage heap. She is
Okay.
not really
Okay.
a doctor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
It
But
triggers me.
I know. We're talking Doctor Who in general. So when I went to sci-fi conventions over in the UK, I was freaking stoked because I got to actually see British telephone booths and got to chat with, like, I call it native, Doctor Who fans. I thought that was freaking spectacular. So it was one of those things like Lord of the Rings that I wasn't into, but I knew what it was and I knew of its importance. So when I heard about Jodie Whittaker and what they did to Doctor Who, I'm just like,
Yeah, no,
mm-mm.
see, I was kind of I was actually defending her all up until I watched that first episode of,
Mhm.
what was it, season 11, I think?
Interesting.
I was because a lot of what people were talking about was because she had become, it was now a woman doctor. And I was like, well, okay, Michelle Gomez as the master actually worked beautifully. And so I was like, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't actually know. And I didn't want to have any spoilers. So I didn't see any trailers or anything. And I even, watching the first episode, I almost fell asleep twice. And I was
Ooh.
bored the rest of the time. Now, this isn't like a 2.5, 3-hour movie. This is like a 45-minute episode.
Right.
And it's very difficult to make me fall asleep when I'm watching something like Doctor Who. And it was really bad. And I was just like, okay, well, hold on. Maybe, just maybe it's her first episode. So she's having a little bit of problems. And any Doctor Who fans know what I'm about to say. I don't understand what I'm talking about. Then I remember the 11th Hour, which is the premiere episode of the 11th Doctor, and 11's my favorite. And I rewatched that episode, and I was just like, see, he was able to just immediately prove that he was the Doctor. In that first episode, within not even the end of the episode, within the first few 10 minutes of the episode, you're like, yeah, this is Doctor.
So you were pretty much sold. It's like soul tells you right away that
exactly.
that's the Doctor. Okay.
That's the Doctor, and she didn't do it. And I was like, okay, I'm crazy. I must be crazy, because back then I was still on Tumblr. Yes, I know. For some reason, I was still on Tumblr. And I was like, what?
We're not judging you here, but can I add something to that?
God.
Can I add something to your story with that, Eris? Because okay, well, thank you again for the appropriating negativity. I'm going to move on. But to give you a little more of a wider front, let's take the first episode. I had no problem with the female Doctor. It was trying to branch out and give the Doctor Who fans a different type of sexuality with the orientation of a new Doctor, right? But when it got to the first episode, maybe 25 minutes in, when she's in her first battle with whatever alien force she's fighting, the first line that comes out of her mouth is, "I'm an upgrade. I'm better," and that was referring to her being a woman.
I'm sorry.
And then it went on to the associates or the companions that formed up as she met them through the show, and the women were all mighty powerful, and all the men were like, even one of the good ones were like bare minimum vocals, bare minimum actions, and they still feel like they were apologizing even though they weren't doing anything. It was very empty with life. And even before this, when fans found out, I think it was after the second episode, when they found out Jodie Whittaker was told purposely not to do any research, not to watch any of the older Doctor Who's, to get a feel for them, like every other Doctor before has, except the first one, because he was the first one. And from there, that's where the divide happened, like it did with the, say, Last Jedi. That's where the divide happened. And Jodie Whittaker did it herself. And she kept doing it. And it's not just her fault. Like, she might be a great actor, but the writing behind the actor can destroy a character, and it did it within the first episode.
Look at Peter Capaldi. Great, wonderful, absolutely brilliant actor, and the writing was garbage.
That, and also you had Clara Oswald, who did not belong there because she was trying so hard to turn an alien Time Lord into being more human. He is there to protect the humans. All life, not become that life. And if you're going to do anything, you have to find the one episode with Capaldi where he comes in because he plays guitar. He's in a band. He came in riding on a tank, playing a guitar. Okay,
yeah, he's awesome, but man, they did him wrong.
And Whittaker is just no.
So basically, the whole thing with Jodie Whittaker, that's what got you into watching Loki show.
Well, actually, no, I'm I'm doing super backstory. So that led me to looking up videos on YouTube trying to figure out, it's like, am I crazy? Like, everyone keeps saying how crazy this thing is, right? Okay. And then I find, because this was like 2 years ago, and then I find Bull's Trek, which leads me down the long line of the Fandom Menace YouTubers.
Funny how that works, because that's how it happened for me with the Last Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's very interesting.
It's a usual kind of origin story. Just a lot of the time, because the Fandom Menace was kind of that movement, I guess you'd call it a movement, was kind of burst because of the Last Jedi. You find a lot more that people came from like a heavy Star Wars background and got introduced through that. So it was a little different for me coming in from the Doctor Who fandom. There's Doctor Who of the the trinity of sci-fi shows. Star Wars was like the last one I got into. And it didn't bother me nearly as much what they had done, like when I first saw it. Obviously, when I first saw The Last Jedi, it hadn't bothered me nearly as much until I basically had it like broken down to me how bad it was. Like, to this day, people still look at that throne scene in Last Jedi and find new things that are wrong with it. Like, that is a really amazingly awful piece of work that to this day people are still finding new things that are wrong with it.
Yeah, I agree, because they're still even finding the timelines don't match up from Return of the Jedi to Kylo Ren and Skywalker's parting and meeting. The ages and the timelines don't match up, so Disney didn't even do research and trying to balancing the ages of the times. So it's one hot mess, in my opinion.
And to me, it's so freaking disrespectful that you can't get the timelines correct. At the very least, you should have that done.
Right, exactly. And I mean, it's interesting to me that maybe it was just I was filled with nostalgia. I don't exactly know, but I've within the last year rewatched The Last Jedi, just because since I had not watched it since I saw it in theaters, which is a whole different experience altogether. It's much easier to get swept up in the hype when you see something in the theaters versus just watching it on your laptop at home or your TV or phone or whatever. Basically, long story short, even though I've already probably extended this too long, I met him via Doomcock. That's how I met him. Yeah. Anyway, so that's how I kind of met him. And then in January, he started his own show, and of course, like, I was like, what the hell? Like, before I'd really gotten to know Loki, I was like, I was really, really good friends, and still to this day, really good friends with Sammy and Purple. Those are my girls, and they told me obviously that they were rooting for him, and I was like, okay, morning show, like a radio show, old fashioned quote unquote radio show in the morning kind of style. It's like, okay, cool, because most people do evening, afternoon streams, particularly like on weekends. But I think World Class Bullshitter Jeff, he used to do like what was it? morning pop culture or something like that.
You know what? Can you hold on a second? There's somebody in the back I want to bring in. Like,
Oh.
oh,
That's an
hey,
imposter.
Loki.
That's an imposter. That's an imposter.
Oh, I thought you guys were going live.
Oh my god!
I didn't know you were recording. I thought you guys were going live earlier. I was like, oh man, it's ghosting her. It's ghosting Reina Creole. YouTube's after her now too.
Well, they did kind of like drop me from 1,000.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Yeah. They cut
Sorry.
like 40 subs, and folks tried to get me back, and I was up to 1,006, and now it's down to 997. So I don't know what the freaking deal is, but
It was actually 75 you lost, and they
Jesus
gave you all.
Christ.
Yeah. And then 2 or 3 hours later, it came on back, but she lost the 1,000 tier she reached.
That's
So,
ridiculous.
I don't know what YouTube does at night, but I swear to God, there's a gerbil in someone's ass just pushing buttons.
I have no idea. Well, when YouTube kind of went into its COVID protocols, it just like the algorithm. They actually Team YouTube tweeted this out. They essentially said that we've sent all the employees home because Lord knows you can't review videos on any device at home. It has to be in the Google headquarters or YouTube headquarters, wherever. So they're just letting the algorithm run free, like a crazy rabid animal.
yeah, I've had to ping their AI a couple of times, tried to say one of my videos was inappropriate, and they took it down, and I'm like, what community guidelines? Tell me what they are. And they put it back up. We just decided didn't violate anything, but we don't think it's appropriate for audiences under 18. So they slapped the age restriction on it.
Wait. You got a response? See, they did it to us 3 times. They did it to me twice, and the Valkyries on my channel, and then they did it to the Valkyries on their channel, and they never gave us a response. We fought the claim, and the claim was removed, and the video was put back up. We never even got an email after that saying, "Oh, it's my bad." No, they just put it back up, and like it never happened.
See, that would be a lot better, even if it was an automated response that literally just said, "Oh, my bad," because at least then,
to just tell you, one time I didn't get an email, and then the other time I did. So it's I don't know what the heck they're doing or whatever, but like I said, one stream that I had, it was okay to talk about clown porn, but for some reason, talking about ghosts and showing footage of Universal, take down.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they gotta get you on that on those DMCA's, and then but clown court. That's cool. You're allowed to talk about that. That's
a hot mess, but yep. So we just were recording offline to go around Eris's schedule, so that's why.
We the other day we hit 151 or 1,051, and the very next morning we were down to 130, and they've taken subs every day since then.
Okay, because I thought it was just me.
No, it wasn't you. It was a whole lot of people. Like we were talking about this yesterday on when Loki was doing his show, and it's been a wide range of channels. And I think they do some kind of weird rollback where I think they try to verify if the accounts are real or human, and then they don't have the algorithm added it back. But they shouldn't even be touching subs.
No, and someone brought up bots in my stream, and I was like, you know what? I have been getting hit by those ones you have to delete, that have that those, those kind. I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Like I have a girlfriend and XXX and please love me and all that kind of
my video.
Shit.
Oh, it's so cool.
Would you like to see my nipple? Click here for more.
Yeah, click this red dot.
It's God, it's just ridiculous, but just keep pushing forward. It's a bunch of pain in the ass as it is with them.
That's the mentality. You gotta keep pushing.
Well, I will get out of your hair. I thought, oh, she's going live, and and then I'm messaging Fat Steven, dude. I've looked on her account. I've looked on Midnight's Edge. I looked on Makini 90. I looked on Mads. I can't find her stream.
Steven's like, Loki's looking for you. I'm like, why?
I don't know. I was just
Okay.
he's looking you for you like a few good men. You're in trouble like gangster style.
But it was funny. It was funny. So I'm like, thanks for looking out. Yep, we're just recording.
I just wanted to make sure you weren't getting ghosted, because I know this happened to us a couple of times in the morning, and where it's like, it's not on my homepage. I'm live and it's not on my homepage. I'm looking at my homepage. I'm refreshing and I'm live. I'm in the middle of a stream and it's not there.
So you know what the problem I'm noticing is that I have notifications turned on for channels that I actually watch, like Loki's in the morning.
Yeah.
And I don't get a notification for Loki's channel till 20 minutes after the show started on my phone.
Yeah, I get that occasionally, but
Every day.
lately it's been pretty good. Like
yeah,
at
same here.
7:31. There you go.
Mm-hmm. But thanks
All right,
for
guys.
looking out, Loki. I appreciate it, man.
Always. You guys take care and have a great stream. And anybody that's watching this, goodbye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Loki, Mistress of Morning, and Confusion Who Rock.
And Fat Loki Seagal there.
Yeah.
Looks just like me except for the face.
Yeah. I look kind of pasty.
See y'all later. Thank you.
Bye, Loki.
Oh my god.
So you have to tell us. So what got you into doing your own YouTube channel?
Well, I'd wanted to do one. I mean, I've been watching YouTube for like 10 years, right? And there's always a draw to it, because I'm very introverted. Just sitting alone and making videos. It's pretty. It just seemed nice. And of course, who doesn't love a little bit of attention? I mean, you have to, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, we wouldn't be here if we hated that. So that's not how this works.
That's a good point.
And so I had been thinking about it for years. And I never had time in college, because dear God, no way was I going to have time in college. And I couldn't settle on a name. I couldn't settle on like anything. And like, if I was going to do something like that, I was going to go all in, right?
Right.
I was going to try to get a mic. I was going to try to get all this. Do I want to be on camera? Do I not? Like, what's the name going to be? I don't want to, go by my actual name, because that's like, I don't have a unique, cool actual name. That's not what I could roll with.
I named myself Fat Steven Seagal. It's not that hard.
Hey, this is for some reason a big deal to me. So
which I get, because for some people they can pick one up, right off the bat and run with it, and for other people, it takes some more time to kind of think and conceptualize what they want to do. So it's it's different for different folks.
So you're not really named Eris.
I mean, I might be. You don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
That's a yes.
I totally didn't just confirm that.
Yeah, your tone of voice gave it away. You have to look better at the lying.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. Like, what kind of parents would my parents have to be to name me after a goddess of chaos? Like, I mean, come on.
That's fine. My name it refers in Hebrew to the gift of God. And then I relook at my childhood and how much I tortured my parents. Like, there's no way in hell I was a gift of God. So the parents name us because they want the most popular name at the time. I guess it goes with the year. So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I ended up settling on Eris because there's a movie called what is it, Sinbad of the Legend of the Seven Seas, and Michelle Pfeiffer voices Eris in that movie. She's the bad guy, and straight up the villain, just without question, and she's awesome. I watched that so many times as a kid, and Wonder Woman kind of got me into Greek even more, and so I was like, I'll just go with Eris of Chaos. And the Golden Apple was probably like the most obvious choice, at least for me, because that's like the Golden Apple of Discord is like the most well-known story that Eris is in. because she doesn't really get talked about because she's a minor deity. And I still wanted to do it even when I was starting kind of with the fandom menace, kind of getting into that. And I finally and Loki did kind of inspire me to do it, because I'd considered it and I was like, and he doing his morning show really kind of got me going. And then of course I'm like, well, I gotta get banner, I gotta do this, I gotta get art, I gotta like get a mic and all this stuff. And eventually like 5 months passed. So, like 5 months have passed since I originally kind of started to really announce that I was going to do this. And he finally just told me, he's like, Eris, do it now. Do it within the week. Do it now. You don't need a microphone. You use your headphones. That's fine. You don't need all this fancy shit. Just do it. And he kind of, as I like to put it, kicked me off the cliff I had been kind of precariously standing on. And that's when I decided to start it. So that's kind of how I got my starting for the YouTube officially.
Oh, it's always cool to hear these different stories about how people start their YouTube channels and all of that. So
yeah.
What did you send me, Fatsy? What we got here?
That's Eris. That's who she based herself on.
Yeah.
That's from 2007, I think. Eris from Sinbad from DreamWorks.
Mm-hmm. That's an awesome movie. Always highly recommend.
Which movie is it again?
It's called
DreamWorks did Sinbad.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
Yes. Michelle Pfeiffer voices Eris. So I mean, total win there.
I haven't seen that. I heard Michelle Pfeiffer voices Eris. I'm just like, what movie is that? Yeah, I'll have to see that because I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. Great movie.
Very cool.
You can actually sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can kind of see little me when that came out. Because that came out, you said, in 2007, so I was 12 in 2007. You can just imagine like me just how I became now kind of just heavily inspired by that movie in a funny way. So at least I've been told that.
So that movie was kind of what you're saying, the birth of your strife and chaos starting side.
Apparently, I can't seem to just have peace for any significant amount of time. There's always something happening. Oh yeah, I just and I don't start it. That's the funny thing, right? Is I don't start things. I just accidentally fall into things, and I'm just like, oh, whoopsie, didn't know we were, and that was happening, and now you're doing, and okay, well, there's like 12 levels of hellish drama happening, right? And I just accidentally trip and fall into like the wrong area.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, so I had a chance to kind of go by your channel and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed to Eris of Chaos, you need to subscribe to her. You had some really awesome topics. First of all, some of your streams were like 3 hours long. How do you do a stream that long? Because literally after like an hour and a half, I think the longest one that I did was like 2 hours. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done. We're done. Shutting down.
Oh, girl, hold on a second. I'm trying to find my longest one. It's not 3 hours.
Are you serious?
My longest one is 5 hours and 37 minutes.
Ladies.
Wow. What on earth? Were you guys gaming? What were you doing?
No. So I'm doing a kind of like a sub-series of my afternoon Discord and Delight, which is my only stream that I'm doing at the moment. I had to get rid of the evenings with Eris on Wednesdays because I did not have the time to.
I understand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have time to do it. And if I'm gonna do a stream, I want to be able to put like my full attention and all my energy into it. And when YouTube starts becoming work, like you feel like you're going to your job,
I get you, because
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. It's like YouTube is like it's something that I
Mhm.
want to do to have fun. And you can, and one of the things that I notice, and
Mhm.
Stephen, tell me if you see this too, you can start to notice the people who are not having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's yeah.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead, Eris of Stephen.
Oh,
Go ahead.
my bad. I totally interrupted you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's always I was taught ladies first, but yeah, it's become more apparent since I've actually started helping you, Lorraine, a lot more. And I've been watching for quite a while. I've been watching Eris for quite a while, and I'm having a deja vu moment because I'm going to say right now I'm not a stalker, okay, but I do watch. And you can see where the people aren't having fun because it's also affecting their viewership. Their viewership is dropping by 10, 20, 30. And it feels like they're just constantly spewing out the same type of, it's like they're bringing an article, but they're bringing an article with always the same disappointment that every other channel's already given. Or they're talking about the same topic, but they're having no life within it. It's like they've lost the ability to incorporate their personalities as well as their personal views and bring life to their channel. And I don't know if it's just because of the way 2020 is doing the lockdowns, but it looks like they're more miserable doing YouTube than they are going to their actual job. But yet they're taking it out on the people around trying to help their shows and they're actually trying to grow it.
And
Does that make sense?
that's really sad because
Mhm.
YouTube should, I mean, when I had first heard of YouTube, it was like, hey, check out this hilarious video, and we pass it around to friends. And YouTube was that place where you went to just find cool content, laugh, have fun, people who would do videos. It seemed like they were born to do it.
Mhm.
They just constantly had fun doing it. And I told myself that when I started a YouTube channel, because, and I've told this story before, I had to be dragged kicking and screaming to start a channel to do it. And then once I finally did it, it's like, hey, I only want to do it if I'm having fun,
Yep.
doing it. But you see some people where for them, it's like you were saying, Eris, it's like a job. It's like a job that they don't like. And it's really sad when it gets to that point. So I think the smart people realize when it's just like, look, I don't have the energy for this. Maybe I need to cut back. Maybe I need to take a break instead of I would say like not showing up or not showing your best self or sharing your best self. Because when you're doing live streaming, you need to show up with your best self so you can interact with your chat and with your audience. Or even if you're just doing videos, making sure that you're putting something out there that as soon as that notification goes off, your subscribers are like mad if they can't go and watch it right away.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that type of thing. Because there's some YouTubers who I know where as soon as they put out a video, it's like I have to go and I have to go see it. And
Exactly.
you see them and it's just like, dang, it should be illegal how much fun they're having doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Can I ask
Exactly.
something towards that for both of you? Do you think that when channels get monetized, it also is kind of affecting their way of giving themselves anymore? Because do you think they build themselves more on the fact that they will only get happy and hyper and more personality when they see a super chat over constantly keeping that mentality throughout the show, whether or not they get a $2 super chat?
Well,
I'm not
Oh,
trying
go
to.
ahead.
I'm saying as a generality. Do you think that also could be a cause that they think just now because they're making money, they think it is a job?
interesting. Do you want to go for? You want to go ahead?
Eris, you're the guest. I'm letting you go.
All right. All right. So having been on YouTube for about 10 years, I've watched creators, large creators, multi-million subscriber platforms crumble. I have seen like them go from like thousands and thousands of gaining subs like every week to just crashing and burning, right? It's kind of, there's a theme that you kind of notice. I don't even know if I would say that it has to do with money, because I've also watched people. I give PewDiePie is a great example. I've been watching that guy since he was yelling at barrels playing Amnesia. Okay, I've been watching him forever, and to see how he has grown in the last 10 years, he easily could have been like any of these other channels. And I'm obviously not going to name names, that I see just go from being something great and having all this potential and having, you know, just all the success right there given to them, to nothing. It just absolutely, you would have to force yourself to watch their videos, right? Because they're so bad. You know, oh, how the mighty have fallen, right? He's kind of fallen in that category. But he did something I think is very, very important for YouTubers, is to remember that things will change, the world around you will change, and you must change with that. So gaming fell out of style in YouTube because it got so oversaturated. Like everyone on the planet had a gaming channel. And that was kind of the surge of the gamer YouTube channels. And he ended up stopping gaming all the time. Now, obviously, he does still do a little bit of it, but he originally stopped it because it wasn't doing, like, his channel wasn't it wasn't making him happy. It wasn't what he wanted. Or he had grown tired of it. That whole YouTube community had grown tired of it. And so he changed his content. He started doing the meme review stuff, the why, all those other kind of things. And some people, on the other hand, do keep that gaming going on, because gaming is actually still a subsection on YouTube. In fact, I think they have a whole app dedicated to it that I don't think anyone downloaded, but it's called YouTube Gaming. And like Markiplier is a good example of someone who started gaming and is still gaming to this day, but he intermixes stuff. So he gives himself like a break from getting exhausted from watching from playing games consistently and constantly. He has another channel where he does other things like skits and whatnot, and playing obviously with his friends instead of just always doing it by himself. Those are other things, but you just notice that they change these little things to kind of change up their content, and to give them also a mental reprieve from having to do the same thing every day, especially for daily uploading, which used to be a big thing on YouTube. Daily uploading, man, people burned out like it was nothing.
It's interesting you should say that, because I've noticed that with some people, like doing uploads every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. I'm just like, how can you sustain that kind of pace, you know, long term? I guess if you can do it, you know, more power to you, but it's kind of like getting like less of a return on your investment, so to speak. So that's just something that I've noticed. It seems like the channels that seem to upload things so many times a day seem to be the channels that I don't pay as much attention to, unless there's certain channels where that's their thing, where they're doing like bites of like news stories, because the news cycle is so it's so tight now. That kind of makes sense when they do it, because it's like when a certain topic pops off, they just rattle off a quick video of like 5 minutes, but it's like a container, and it's so small, it's like a nugget. So it's like, okay, I get that multiple times a day, but
I can kind of agree with that, Lorena, because I'm going to name one channel because I do watch it, and that's the Corver. But what he does is he does have his 10-minute videos, but he does the subjects that he asks his Twitter every morning, what should I cover? He picks the ones that are most viable. He puts those videos out, and he's good at it. And at the same time, there's also the ones that put out way too many videos, and it just seems like the same monotone info that they read off a paragraph. I think there are some that are trying too hard, and they're not doing what they expect they want to do. And there are the ones that have developed a perfect routine, and it's just normal for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks though, because the channels that seem to be losing their life to not caring anymore aren't realizing that they are not caring anymore. And those are the people that usually have the biggest influence on people wanting to make their own channels.
Oh yeah, that's the most tragic, I think, just in my opinion. slowly watching, and I've seen this before, and it is heartbreaking to watch, but watching a creator that you absolutely adore slowly lose their passion and their fire it's awful, because you know they're not having fun. You know that they're miserable. You know that they absolutely hate doing it. And yet they have to put on this fake, disingenuous
Joy.
yeah, exactly. This fake passion in order to mask that. But it's very easy to tell when people just don't care anymore and they're hating it.
Absolutely.
But
It's kind of
I still care about both of you and your channels. I care a lot. I'm going to sound really creepy for a second, but I care about both of you very much. You guys are both awesome. And you both have great smiles when you go on camera and you talk to your chats. So I'm simping for both of an Apple and Lorena right now.
Thank you.
And if Abby was ever watching this, just as a TMI, she is still black.
Yes.
What? What? Are you serious? I didn't notice. Oh my goodness! You just shattered my world.
Raina will play
Holy
the
hell!
clip for you. Raina will play the clip for you one time. But it's
Oh
cool
God.
that
You know what?
It's
It's gonna get to the point where I'm gonna have to pay him royalties, probably. For this story clip, but this is what we're talking about right here.
Only works if you ladies were black.
So what the heck am I?
You're not kidding.
That never gets old.
If you know Abu Nas, that's the one thing we kind of torture him with the most. But he is a giant teddy bear. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah, no, I adore that man. He really he knows, he cares. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those people that actually like truly gives a shit about the people who subscribe to him.
Yeah, it's because he's kind of older than a lot of us, but he's reaching the childlike fandom love at his age, which is something you don't usually see, and it's so fun seeing because his eyes light up. Like every time he talks about like Snyder Cut and stuff, it's like watching a kid seeing the Christmas tree with presents underneath it. And
absolutely,
that's the kind of emotion I respect the most, because you don't see it as much. Because it kind of relates to our conversation about 3 minutes ago. He has a life that is still burning. And I wish when I reach that age, if I don't get killed by my smart ass comments before that I can reach that mentality. Shut up, Eris. You know what I'm talking. Because it's something that everyone should strive for. I'm not saying everyone should be like Abu, but Lorena, you do the same thing. You have the same energy, and Eris does too. And those are the things you should never lose hold of if you're going to be doing this seriously, whether you think of it as a job or not. That's why I haven't started the videos yet, because I'd rather help other people out, because I see much more in them before I want to put my shit out.
Well, that's that's like what I used to do. I was on so many live streams because I didn't want to start my own channel, and I'm just like, well, how do I know if I even want to flip and start one? I don't know if I want to do this or not. I may try it and hate it and shut it down after a week. So I just started live streaming on other people's channels. I would say, hey, this is whose live stream I'm crashing this day, and here's who I'm crashing that day, and just got to the point where people just kept saying, you should have your own channel. You should start your own channel. I'm like, hey, yeah, quit playing. I don't need my own channel. And more people kept saying it. And then between everybody else saying it, and then the likes of like John Talks, Tom from Midnight's Edge, Gary from Neurotics, they were just like, yeah, you need to start your own channel. I'm like,
no one's told me to do that yet. So this is pretty much the only way I can talk to women without getting arrested. So
start your own channel. There you
go. Eris, please fight me.
It's like, if it's something you want to do, it's like, go ahead and do it. I tell people, don't feel that you're pressured to start a channel just because you see this person on YouTube or you see that person on YouTube. Ultimately, you have to decide, if it's for you. Even if you want to, say make your own channel, but just make just videos just for you to see if it's something, if it's something that you want, you want to do. So
Mhm.
it's you have to have the passion for it. But getting back to the monetization question, I know that there have been some channels where I've seen where the people, and this is irrespective of time, some people, their shows are just so big,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just so many volumes of super chats that are coming in where it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like there's no way they're gonna
Mhm.
ever get through that. So that's a different situation. But if there's a point where there's a good balance between the chat and there's super chats that are coming in, I have noticed some YouTubers do pay more attention to the super chats. And it's like I tell people, a super chat shouldn't be the price of admission to participate in the show.
Yeah.
No, because when you start seeing your chat as a dollar sign over an individual that is there to express and join in on the same feelings of the day, you've lost your meaning in the channel.
Exactly. I mean, if people super chat you, of course, you want to acknowledge them because, they didn't have to give you that money. But at the same time, remember, it's like you have a chat there that is coming to see you, and they shouldn't have to feel like they have to pay a cover charge to get acknowledgement. Their personalities should be the price of admission. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like bringing who you are and showing up, even if it's just, hey, I'm just here to have a good time, or, hey, I'm just lurking or whatever. It's like people bringing themselves helps to make a live stream, what it is.
Exactly.
I agree. It is. I think one of the best. One of the best ways I have seen, to deal with the super chats, because when you get bigger,
Yeah.
as a YouTuber, let me
Well, I didn't
clarify.
say anything. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Okay. I just heard the cogs turning in your head. It is difficult. I'll give them that, right? It is difficult to pay attention to everyone else when you have so many super chats coming in. And one person I've noticed do this, and actually Gary does it too, but Mahler, who I'm a huge fan of, Mahler does this super chat streams where he goes through all of the super chats in a separate stream if there's so many of them. He'll wait to do them at the end, or he'll do like a whole separate stream if there's like a large amount. He just had his 100th episode a few weeks ago of EFAP, and that was like an over 24-hour stream broken up into 4 parts, which is going to have all those super chats.
Wow.
So because of that, it's not like he can like do that while they're playing a video and responding to that, right? They don't want to break up the flow of why people are there, right? They're there to watch them respond to the video that they have pulled up. And so they have either at the end or a whole nother stream, and you'll see Gary does super chat square ups,
yeah, I've seen that too.
Right. And I think that's the best way, because the last thing you want to do is have your super chats interfere with the flow of your stream. People are there to watch your stream. But there's a fine balance of, hey, you want to give the acknowledgement and the and you want to read off what people have said and sent to you via super chat. But at the same time, like, you want to actually show and what's happening that the people have come to see in the first place. So it's like they got to balance that. And
I'm laughing at Steven's avatars.
What did you do? I looked away for 5 seconds. Oh my god,
that's all it takes.
Damn it! I look away for 5 seconds. Complete. Damn it! Oh my god. Holy hell,
This is what I have to deal with. It keeps me on my
What the hell? Bro, I like to see anyone that is as fast as me of making a different avatar.
None.
No, that was pretty impressive. Yeah, it takes me at least probably about 10 minutes.
But
when I
you say that again, I want to record that because I never ever heard a woman call me impressive. So I just want to have that for records.
You just have to listen to the. Yeah, you just have to listen to the stream. You just have to
Okay.
give her that watch time, man.
Hashtag pathetic cigar.
Yeah.
Gotta give her that watch time. Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to hustle to get that watch time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you have to think about it, like a month ago already, you were at what, 400, 600 subs, and now you've got 400 in like a month.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, partially due to shout outs on Friday Night Tights. Like I got one because between Fat Steven and According to Christy and Culture, that's how I got the first shout out on Friday Night Tights. And that was 2 weeks ago. And then this past Friday, I got another one. I was knocked out of sleep. I had no idea. And I wake up and Christy sends me this text message, you got a shout out on Friday Night Tights. I'm like, what? They already did one. And yeah, he went and did like a second shout out on Friday Night Tights. And I got, I think, 150 subs within 24 hours, less than that, probably like 12 hours.
No.
And then a couple days after that, I even got, the welcome to 1,000K email from YouTube. And then that's when the shenanigans started, when they stripped 75 of my subscribers and then gave me like 35 to 40 of them back. It's welcome to the circus.
Right, no, exactly.
But it was just funny because Christy's like, I think I was telling Fat Stevens like, yeah, maybe we can get to 750 by the end of October.
No, because I gave you and Christy a spiel, and I meant it. And like you'll say, if I give you a private message saying thank you or anything like that, that's because I mean it, because I see something in it. Like I thank Culture on my B-Day, like it was a couple days ago, a private message, because I'm like, bro, you've done a lot more for everyone. And no offense, I don't think a sub is good enough when you do more than enough for people. Because a sub is just a number, but you need to hear an actual thank you from a human being a lot more. Because
Culture does a lot. Culture has been a huge support. Like before I met you, Steven, it's like he got started like months before I did, and he was going above and beyond out of his way to help people and to help me. I'd asked an innocent question about, I have no idea what a freaking green screen is, what kind of green screen to use. And he sent me, links and all this stuff and advice and all that. He's like, anything that I could do to, help you out. And he's actually working on an intro for me, which I cannot flipping wait until.
Can I be in one of the intros? No, I'm kidding. It's okay.
I need to put you in some clips. That's what I need.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I need to put you in some clips because I like to play, clips during my show, and it's fun because certain members in the chat have their favorite clips that they like.
Oh God, what have I done?
So I'll play them, during the chat. No, it's no problem. Like Christy has the ones that she likes. When Danny comes to the chat, he has the one that he likes. Everybody likes to hear, Abu Nas and, stuff like that.
What the hell was that? But at the same time, I don't ask because I don't think I've earned it yet, because I prefer waiting until I've done enough work, because I don't think this is work to me, because you let me be an ass, but I'm not too much of an ass, and it's just fun because you don't hit me with mace.
No, you bring levity, because like again, when talking about people in your chat, Stephen was one of those people in the chat who just was so witty that people in the chat were like cracking up and were like commenting, he said this, he said this, he said this. So that type of energy is infectious.
You should see their faces. I'm going to cut you off real quick, because whenever you said someone check your DMs because you just sent memes, and everyone had to look, even if they didn't have their camera on, that sound of fear in someone's voice. You're like, oh crap, what the hell did he send me? And the whole panel would lock up in frozen fear, like Jason was coming around the corner. And then they play the image, and they all pee themselves. And it's funny watching that, because Apollo will do it too now. You're getting more of those types of people coming up in like drunks chat and stuff. And he's getting overwhelmed because he's seeing how much people want to contribute something to them because they adore the way their shows go. And I bet you're getting more people sending you weird. I know you're getting Apollo memes at least once in a while. I know you have to be.
No, because I'm not on Discord.
Oh.
So I know,
You're
I
lucky.
know, I know his memes are legendary.
Yeah.
I know. So whenever he shows up in the chat, I'm like, "How you doing? Welcome, sir." But I
Yeah.
haven't.
That's why I
His
pop up.
reputation precedes him for
That's
his
why I
memes
pop
on
up in your
Discord.
channel. I popped up in Eris of Chaos. Pop in the Valkyries. Like today, I popped in the Valkyries, and like I could pick up a quarter with my nipple. I just wrote it randomly, just sent it in the chat, or I was giving them a random stream because you do this your tip jar, right? You can do whatever name you want, right? So I
Yes.
was typing in Richard Simmons, and I'm like, "Work it, girls, work it." Fat Steven told me to say this.
I have gotten some of the funniest messages in my tip jar.
I used to have an account called Chlamydia Koala, and I used to
Oh my
torture
God.
Jimmy on his streams with that.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
It's something else. So I'm trying to think of the last subject that I wanted to ask you about.
Do you like that?
I'm gonna be indulgent for like a couple of minutes.
Go for
One
it.
of your
Mhm.
videos that I saw, because before I interview people, I kind of like to go through their YouTube or whatever. And a video of yours that I saw that was from a live stream.
Mhm.
I latched on to that because I did a similar video about Star Wars, and it had to do with Alex Kurtzman
Mhm.
talking about debate was needed,
Mhm.
and it was around toxic fandom.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I have to listen to this because this sounds like the same crap that I would hear about Star Wars fans. Like, you're toxic. You're toxic. No, we're not toxic. We're passionate. And considering what Kurtzman did with Picard, which I was so pissed, I tried to get rid of CBS Access, and they begged me to keep it for free for another month.
I remember that.
And then at the end of Star Trek Picard, I said, "No, I'm canceling this crap. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see my heroes destroyed." Jean-Luc Picard, because the reason I started watching Star Trek Picard, I said, okay, it'll be interesting to see what he's like at this phase in his life. He should be the most interesting man in the Federation, the most interesting man in Starfleet. I'm like, can you see him like imparting, this knowledge onto others, and just seeing what has happened in that span of time with him, as prominent as he was. And they basically reduced him to some doddering old man getting yelled at by women.
Yeah, that I have to agree. That was the worst thing because even if you remember the episode "The Measure of a Man," which was when he got stabbed in the chest, right, and he was on the dying table, and Q gave him a second chance. His last line of that show is, "I refuse to live as that man. I would rather die on that table,
Yes.
be the man that I was, than to be that man who never took a chance." And that's the part I remember. And even when they did the last final season episodes, he fought as an old man. He tried to go through 3 different time phases to save what life was, and he ended it trying to reconnect with his crew. And I don't give a what Nemesis did and how Data sacrificed himself. Yeah, I do miss Data, but he was still the Picard that we knew. This Picard thing, this Kurtzman Scheitha, is not my Trek.
No.
I'm sorry,
No.
that bothers me. It's like, oh, every time.
No. And because and it was interesting to hear what you were saying, echoing not only what I had been saying about Star Wars, but also my feelings on Star Trek Picard as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I looked at the video because I was curious. It was a Evenings with Eris episode. Episode
Yes.
7, Alex Kurtzman and Toxic Fandom. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly remember what I was covering. Probably an article, knowing me, because I do like to cover articles.
It was, and I think I had come across the same article when I was on another live stream, and I think we were talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, was that when Alex Kurtzman called
Star Trek platform?
He was talking about Star Trek fans and the toxicity of fandom.
Yes.
I think is specifically what it was, if I'm remembering it.
That's specifically what it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And oh man, it's just because somebody disagrees with your opinion does not mean that they are a toxic person, which I know. Toxic.
I disagree. You're toxic.
Toxic is such a meme word because it's been overused.
Toxic is a Britney Spears song. I'm going to leave it at that.
That's why I
my
used
God, it
Britney Spears in my thumbnail when I was talking about toxic fans. I had to put Britney Spears.
Yeah.
You're so toxic.
I love Britney Spears. I do.
Oh yeah.
I want to redo the music video of Hit Me Baby one more time, but put Kurtzman's head on her. And then actually have like someone hit her.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would be funny because he does have it coming. It's just like, it's interesting. They call the fans toxic to get us to shut up and take the crap that they're shoving down our throats.
Yep.
And they expect us to just sit back and take it. And when we don't, they call us toxic. And then they'll call us for there needs to be a debate. No, you don't want a debate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a debate. You just want us to say, you want us to kiss your ass. You want us to say how wonderful Star Trek Picard is, but we know it's a piece of crap.
Exactly.
Like I knew Star Trek Discovery was a piece of crap. That's why I never went back and watched it. I never will watch it ever.
I watched the actual new season first episode for you.
Right.
Let me tell you, it was like watching a Stormtrooper bad aim meme with wannabe Mega Man launchers and discount dollar store Idris Elba.
Okay, first of all, they can't even get the Klingons right.
No.
Klingorks, my God.
And
that's what did it for me.
And you're going to hate it even more if the rumors are true that they're going to be rebooting DS9. Because if they're rebooting DS9, wait, let me finish. My thought is Avery's going to come back with his fully human, loss of wormhole alien powers, and some woman captain is going to be there yelling at him the whole time, trying to help him get back his powers. And nobody is going to watch that.
Point of personal privilege.
Oh my God, you know the meme. Nice.
Yes, I do. I do. Usually when I do that, it's like full disclosure. Mm-hmm. I used to run Avery Brooks's fan club for Deep Space Nine.
You're joking.
No. I had drive-up privileges onto the Paramount lot because I knew Lolita Fat Joe and a couple of other people in the script department there. I visited Avery Brooks on the set several times.
How is he?
Like literally, he's cool as hell. He's absolutely the coolest person.
Did he sing for you?
Did he what? Did he sing? No, I didn't ask him to sing. I didn't ask him to sing. I was just chilling. And the one of the security guards, I guess that was like his personal security on the lot. I would like butter him up with cigarettes and stuff. Every time I come on his set.
Don't smoke. Hashtag don't smoke. Don't bribe people with cigarettes.
I can't. He was an old dude. I couldn't say no. So, I would hook him up, I'd hook him up with some cigarettes and all that. But for me, Deep Space Nine is more than just the show. It's the actors that I know. It's the principal actor that I was privileged to call a friend to be in contact with and still do, even though I haven't seen him in years. But to have that connection with the actors, on the show, see scripts and ideas evolve from things that I heard about to seeing them being shot, to being on the actual DS9 sets.
How big was it?
That were there. Wasn't huge. I forget which soundstage it was because when I went, they were filming, I want to say like the second season of Voyager.
Did you meet Kira? Because honestly, Kira was my hugest crush in DS9.
Yes, I knew. Yeah, Nana Visitor. Yeah, she knew me. She knew me on site. She knew me on site. Yeah, she was cool. She's cool. I met her when she had her little boy with her. But it was fun, and it's as a Trek fan, that was like that was like heaven for me, that I got to see all that stuff behind the scenes that was going on. And one of the most cherished, I say, artifacts that I have is like the final season cast gift. It's like a
No.
flannel shirt that says Deep Space Nine season 7 that's embroidered on. I've had it for years.
Why have I not heard about this?
About what?
All of this, like you just got 100% more of my respect now.
Because it's one of those things where I don't like, it's DS9. And there's certain things about fandom that I know that I don't necessarily put out in the ether unless it's germane to the discussion. And with the destruction of Trek that's going on, because some people are like, well, why are you so passionate about it? I'm like, I'll tell you exactly why that I'm passionate about it. Not only that I ran Gabriel Brooks's fan club, not only that I had the honor and privilege of going to probably the last convention that DeForest Kelley did when he was alive.
Aww.
And I was in the front row with me and a couple of friends, and he was just getting entertained because we were just laughing at everything that he was saying because he was so witty and so funny. Me getting able to meet Nichelle Nichols, not only get to meet her, but she puts up with me, fangirling about finally, getting to meet her. And she's teaching me how to pose for freaking photographs.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. Who gets to do that? I get to meet the 4 captains on stage at a convention where Avery Brooks says that he knows who I am, and William Shatner's freaking out because he's just like, I was captain of the Enterprise before you were born, or something like that. And Kate Mulgrew is like, you probably hugged her mother 27 years ago, or something like that. To have that kind of connection, even to the point of seeing some guy shuffling across the Paramount lot, and I'm like, who's this wannabe homeless guy? And it turns out it's Michael Dorn.
Oh,
come on. You don't insult Worf like that. He's on my TV right now. We're watching DS9 all day.
Dude, I didn't know who he was, and anything that looks like a threat is on my radar. But until I'm like, oh man, that's Michael Dorn, really?
Hashtag Michael Dorn is a homeless guy.
I'm like, dang, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't know who the heck he was. He could have been.
Can I ask you one quick thing though about DS9? Like, do you think that the reason why DS9 was so much more successful in the kind of ways is because they were able to do what they couldn't do with Picard, make the captain of a station be more in touch with his crew than Picard took a whole series to learn by the end of the series itself.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't like DS9 for the first season of that. Because of that. And here's what happened. Because of that. Because for me, Star Trek was Jean-Luc Picard. Be all and end all was Jean-Luc Picard. I didn't want to watch DS9. I didn't want to give it a chance. I didn't care that they had a black captain. I didn't care. I didn't want to watch it. Then I finally sat down and watched an episode of Deep Space Nine and was like, okay, I'm sold. I'm sold, because they did things that they wouldn't do in TNG. I mean, Picard was so straight-laced, diplomatic, he was
the flagship, and they were venturing.
He was. And DS9 is what happens when crap gets real. When Captain gets pissed, like, I got to go work the heavy bag, or you know what, I'm going to punch the sentient being out because he's getting on my freaking nerves. And he's like, Picard never hit me. He's like, I'm not Picard. Duh.
I loved it when he hit Q. That was great. Or when he yelled at Ron, get off my field, you suck at baseball.
That was just
he doesn't
awesome. And that the show, like, it was just the reality of the Trek universe, but it was still Star Trek. It was still Star Trek.
Issues. Remember the issues did. Remember, like, when they got sucked back in time, and it was Gareth Brooks or whatever, when he became
when he became Gabriel Bell.
Yeah, Gabriel Bell, and they literally went to today's San Francisco because they look exactly the same as they did on the show 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, like, they nailed all of those types of things, like the trills and the meeting X's. It was, I can't put into words, man, because it was art.
it was truly beautiful. I mean, it was a wonderful show. I was so sad. I was so sad when it ended, and
Danger.
I just find it very cool that it went from a show that I did not want to give a chance to look at to a show that I was devastated when it was over.
Yeah. Did you like DS9, Eris? Because you've gone either asleep or very quiet.
All right. Well, fun fact. I haven't even finished TNG.
I'm done. I'm going to get a beer. I'm out.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, wow. Wow.
When I was introduced to Star Trek, it was the 2009 Star Trek movie. And that was my first taste of it. And then that led to me, my dad sitting me down, my brother down, and we were shown Wrath of Khan. Which immediately, because I was a sobbing, disastrous mess, we then proceeded to watch Search for Spock. And so
I understand.
yeah, that led to me kind of accidentally finding out that it was a TV series. I'd only known the movies. And so I watched all of it, all of TOS and the animated series. And I just have a really hard time, kind of similarly like you do, with going from TNG DS9. I have the same exact problem with going from TOS to TNG. It's like, these are not my boys. Where's my Kirk? Where's my Spock? Where's my Bones? Where are my boys? Like, I need my boys around, you know, and they're not here. And
Actually,
why?
that's wrong. That's wrong because they actually did have episodes in TNG where Scotty, Bones, and Spock make appearances.
I know. I've actually seen.
I just wanted to
those
contradict
episodes.
you.
I understand that, but you know what? Shush.
That's the feeling. That's the feeling that you get. So it's like, for me, I had seen Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, the first Star Trek the motion picture. I'm sorry, that was boring as hell. Beautiful, but I kept falling asleep. I'm like, wake me up.
There's a reason we skipped over that.
Here was my thing. This isn't Alien, you know, so I'm not going to sit watch it. But, you know, with them, and then when Star Trek The Next Generation came out, I'm like, okay, I'm really down with this, because the TOS guys were kind of like my grandparents. That's kind of how I saw it. Like, okay, I respect it for what it is, but I want something different. And just like latched on to TNG, and that was just like my life. It's like I absolutely loved it. So I couldn't think of anything replacing it. So it's like when DS9 came out, yeah, I'm like, you know, there's not, you know, Jean-Luc Picard isn't there, Riker's not there, you know, Data's not there, Geordi's not there. I don't want to freaking watch this, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of it's similar in a way, funnily enough, to when the Doctor regenerates, kind of to make this a full circle. The Doctor regenerates and you absolutely love the previous one, you don't want to see them go. And you absolutely hate the new Doctor because they're not the Doctor that you loved. And eventually, like, you'll get over it, but I haven't reached to that point where I've fully gotten over it. I don't even remember. I don't remember at what point in TNG I stopped watching. But I don't think. I think they kind of still vaguely haven't. Well, they haven't had like a full-on encounter, I think, yet with the Borg. Now, obviously, in the circles that I run in, the nerd fandoms, it's hard to avoid spoilers at this point. I mean, how many years has it been? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit! I just ruined Data for you. My bad.
You know, it's like, and when Picard came out, I was like, oh. Well, there's a spoiler for TNG right there. I didn't know Data kind of. Oh,
yeah. It's been a certain, you know, amount of time. You know, it's.
Can I ask a favor then, which would be good for a follow-up episode in the future if you guys are both down? Reina has to promise to watch at least a Tenet season, and Eris has to watch a season of DS9, and then you guys can do a follow-up episode and give your thoughts.
A season of what? I'm sorry.
Tennant Doctor Who, David
Oh.
Tennant. I'm giving you a good doctor.
Oh, okay.
No,
sorry.
no.
You said Tenet. I'm like, who?
No, give
What?
her
What?
season
I saw
5.
the Tenet
Give her
movie.
season
What?
5. Okay, we're supposed to give you season 5.
There's
Doctor
season 5 that
Season
that
5?
has
Okay.
that has Vincent and the Doctor, that has that has the 11th Hour in it. That has season 5 for me is peak Doctor Who. So that's the one I go to. But I don't know. It really goes like with the personality of the watcher.
That's
Like
true.
who you kind of.
We should get her started on Angels and see how she likes it after that.
Hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Don't blink.
I'll start crawling through season 5 of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you guys which episode I should watch. So let's bring this to a close so Eris can like get some dinner and
Away from me.
and relax a little bit, because I'm so glad she hopped on with us tonight. So Eris, tell us about where they can find you on YouTube.
Just search under just type in to the search bar, just type in Eris of Chaos, and you'll notice the one with the big golden apple. That one's me.
I love this. Can I just say how much I love this art? It's so
I
awesome.
love your apples.
Thank you. Oh, you mean the banner?
Yes.
Oh, I did that.
Really? It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
gorgeous.
actually my eye. So
I'm not artsy,
Really?
so I'm impressed with all kinds of stuff. I outsourced mine.
I love editing. So that's like that's one of my things is I love like Photoshop's like I just absolutely love that thing.
You're gonna have to teach me more about shop then.
I will, of course.
Awesome.
And I just I used to do the evenings with Eris thing, right? Which was my Wednesday stream, but that's on hold at the moment. But Saturdays, generally speaking, at 2 p.m. CST, I go live. Topics vary, time that varies. I did forget to mention the 5-hour, almost 6-hour stream was about the ongoing series I have with Project Storytime. You'll know him as you'll see him around sometimes as Josh Mamamit. I can't pronounce his last name. Mamabity.
No.
Da, 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 da. All right, anyway. He and I have a series. It's the Comic Book Whisper Network on Bleeding Full. They're doing a big expose.
I heard about
series.
that. Yeah.
So we're covering that, and we're going in and we're kind of figuring it out. And whenever another part happens or an article or anything has really popped up, we kind of add on to that. And our first one, which was 2 articles, which was huge. It was the first 2 parts of the Whisper Network, was that 5-hour, 40-minute stream.
Wow.
And I'm kind of inspired again because I'm a huge fan of Mahler. He does EFAP for those who don't know. And I am eventually going to start steering my Saturday streams a little bit more towards that video response kind of format, so kind of be on the lookout for that. Not this Saturday. Let's see. Well, let's see.
She tried to have us on the last stream on Saturday with me and Loki, and it was supposed to be about horror. We covered horror for about 5 minutes.
Oh my god! Yeah,
3.5 hours.
Yes.
This one from 4 days ago. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that one. It used to be a different title, but it honestly, it's not even a part 2 of the horror thing I had kind of going on for this month. It's more like a kind of maybe a 1.05 part. Most of it, like 98% of it, has absolutely nothing to do with the topic. And we accidentally, through the chat, funnily enough, get on topic again.
Oh my gosh, that's
I called
hilarious.
it the pure chaos horror stream because it was, I don't know what I was expecting. Yeah, you think I would have known, but anyway, for the rest of October, it's kind of going to be horror And then picking up in November, I'm going to I have to watch Generations first, Star Trek Generations, because we're doing a response. Project Storytime and I are doing that. So, ta-da!
Cool. So Saturdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Eris, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me on and dealing with all of the nonsensical things I have said over how long has this been going on for? Like 2 hours?
No, that is fine. These interviews are about, about the interviewee, your personality, which shines through so much. So I'm just so glad that I get to hear your voice and hear about the stuff that you're passionate about, and to be able to share all of that with our viewers and all of that. So don't ever apologize for being who you are, because who you are is why people are into you.
Just stole my paragraph, you bastard.
Oh my god.
I know. I know. I'm a Slytherin. I'm sneaky like that.
But Reina's right. Like, the people we get on have all been very honest, and they're always themselves, and that's what I think we appreciate the most when they say yes to be a guest. It's great. And like I said to you on with Loki, people wouldn't be paying attention if you weren't you and being genuine. Same thing goes with the Reina.
Oh yeah. I mean, you want the queen of hustling it on YouTube? It's this girl right here. You know how to get this done. I mean, honestly, I've never seen someone rise so quickly. And
I have.
Damn, I don't know how you have time and manage to get all of it, but it is you. Seriously, when I talk about someone who knows how to grow a channel, it's like you were like my first example, because you know exactly how to do it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm picking everybody's brain.
Yeah, you are amazing. You are such a natural at doing this. It is like you'll have millions of subs before you know it. I'm serious.
Oh, well, thank you. Girl. You got me blushing. I was so busy I had to hire an assistant, so I'm glad that's even,
I'm happy you said yes, because I was terrified reaching out, man.
No. One thing I love is when I know I don't have time for something, or I get it forced to think, hey, you don't have the time, you need to do something else. I like to, find the people who are, who
desperate,
are good at that
and
sort of thing. Yeah.
And fat, and very lonely, and sound very bad online.
He's giving us his biography now for some reason. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, but my biography starts with something. Thank you. Great way for a novel, right there.
Oh, but yeah, we have such a great time. So Eris, again, thank you so much for joining us, folks. Please subscribe to Eris of Chaos. Search for her on YouTube. See the amazing banner with the golden apple in the eye. It's just wonderful, wonderful. So sub to her. And if you're not subbed to me, please do sub to me and hit that notification bell, so you know if YouTube doesn't screw up when I go live and when I post videos and all of that sort of thing. So with that, everyone, that'll do it for this after school special interview with Eris of Chaos. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.